Distance from people who make you feel strange is an important step to protect your own mental health. Develop a defense mechanism so that their negative emotions don't transfer to you. If you're uncomfortable, avoiding dialogue can be a strategy. And sometimes the best way to do that is to sever ties with that person. Disengaging is essential to protecting your energy and maintaining your peace. You need to make a conscious effort not to be drawn into their negative attitudes, and to not undermine your value. You can adopt these methods for a better interpersonal relationship and a happier life. And it takes determination to protect yourself from people who make you uncomfortable. It's an expression of respect for yourself. If you're constantly uncomfortable, that relationship deserves to be toned down or severed for you. Distance from them is not weakness, but a wise and healthy choice. Have the courage to come back to center yourself away from negative influences. You have the right to live a life oozing with positive energy. Human relationships aren't always easy for everyone. And sometimes you need to be firm to protect yourself. Distance yourself from those who exhibit provocation and passive aggression. And send a strong "don't" signal to actions that hurt. In relationships with people who upset you, reduce the level from friend to acquaintance, even stranger. Drop your extreme stigma and doubts about yourself. Recognize your bad habits and continue to do things that change them. If this doesn't work, it's important to be prepared to seek professional advice. At the end of the day, it's all about self-respect and self-preservation. Decisively adjusting your relationship with that person is an investment in yourself. By eliminating unnecessary conflicts in our lives, we can put more energy into positive relationships. If you don't like what you see, ask the question about the cursing and disparaging, and send the "don't" signal to clarify. I think that's how you interpreted what I said, but that's not really what I meant. I wanted to say, "don't do it." Signal for criticism. I feel like that's demeaning to me. I don't want you to talk to me like that. Respond to passive aggression or provocation. I don't think I can continue this conversation with this tone and attitude. When things are better, we'll talk. I don't think we're a good influence on each other. In the future, I think we should keep our distance from each other. We must bring the recurring unconscious habits to the surface of our consciousness. To be aware of them and create new habits to replace them. By taking time for emotional mourning. Don't try to seek solutions from the person who's hurting you, but instead try to find positive ways and environments to heal yourself. Sometimes professional advice is necessary. Don't ever be tied to a negative relationship. By protecting yourself and nurturing your self-love, you can realize your true self-respect and self-love. Finding peace and stability is the most important thing on your path. Healthy relationships come from powerful inner forces. And avoiding negative influences is essential for your well-being. Remember, you are worthy of respect. And no one has the right to disturb your peace. When you stand tall for your worth, like a compass, your life is not lost. Your self-love and self-esteem will protect you. Draw a firm line against intruders. And maintain a healthy boundary. Manage your environment around you with a rock-solid attitude. Remember, you will always be your own first. And your loyalty to yourself will be the force that enriches your life. Observe carefully how your heart and mind reacts every time you're with someone. Exert a sense of loyalty to yourself. Distancing yourself from people who make your mind blur or feel uncomfortable. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a strong act of self-preservation. Focus on the peace and growth that's in you. And put your energy into the relationships that you truly care about. Don't forget that you have the right to be happy. Putting your well-being and harmony first is the only way to realize true self-respect and love. Cutting off unnecessary negative energy from your life is a big decision for yourself. Free yourself from those who cause you consuming emotional distress. You have the right to protect your life from their harmful demeanor or words. It's not just an act of abandonment. It's a process to maintain your emotional well-being and positive self-image. Have the courage to end your relationship with someone who is destructive to your peace. Your happiness begins with the relationship you choose. Step by step, put your relationship with that person behind you and prioritize your feelings. If confronting them is unpleasant, set up a boundary to change the way you communicate or minimize communication. Protecting and respecting yourself is the most important thing. And your peace and well-being must be free from the negative influences of others. Break bad habits, rebuild your life around you, and surround yourself in a positive environment. This strategy can help you find a way to get out of your own uncomfortable situation. And prioritize your own emotional and mental health. All the discomfort that you experience is a sign that you need to listen to your inner voice. Cleaning up relationships and distancing is an expression of self-respect. By making careful decisions and eliminating a negative person in your life, you can create a positive space for yourself and improve the quality of your life. When you have an inseparable relationship with your family, you have to be very careful in how you communicate with them. It's important to redefine the shape of the relationship. For example, what you said hurt my feelings. I hope you understand. Let's avoid these negative conversations from now on. Even as a family, articulating your feelings and setting personal boundaries is an important part of self-respect. By acknowledging and respecting each other's differences, you can create a more positive conversation away from certain situations and topics. Mimicking your role model is a powerful tool in interpersonal training. I was impressed with how you handled difficult situations with such poise. So I'm trying to be as mature and serious as you are about responding to people that make me uncomfortable. By imitating the positive attitude of a role model and learning to protect yourself from bad relationships, you can improve your interpersonal skills. At the end of the day, relationships with negative people can be a heavy burden in our lives. Disconnecting from an unpleasant relationship isn't just a choice, it's a necessary act of self-preservation. Have the courage to draw firm lines with those who cause you unnecessary stress to protect your mind and mental health. By distancing yourself from them, you can pursue your own happiness completely. Don't forget that putting yourself first is the start of every healthy relationship. To break bad habits, you need to make a conscious effort to know when and how those habits are occurring and to stop them. After observing your actions and recognizing your unconscious attitudes when a situation occurs, please actively express your grief or anger with a moment of mourning. This allows you to experience emotional emancipation and plant new, healthier habits in place. When responding to injuries from negative human relationships, try to avoid asking your attacker for remedies or to heal your wounds, because that can often cause even more damage. Instead, you have to find your own inner medicine to heal your feelings. It's important to acknowledge your hurt feelings and have compassion for yourself. The healing process takes personal time. And sometimes you can enlist the help of friends, family, or experts. It's important to surround yourself with a healthy and supportive environment away from relationships that hurt you. With strong confidence and decisiveness, lay down unnecessary weight in your life. Forgive those who harm your ego, but keep your boundaries clear and protect your peace. Life is yours, every moment, you have the choice. Trust your inner voice, and categorize your relationship with someone who no longer positively influences your life. Acting with your well-being first is an act of respect for your value and dignity.